Welcome to Steel, Forge, and Fire, Sword and Knife. On this channel, we support our U.S. veterans. Veterans, there's a place for you here. There's a number in the description of all my videos if you are in despair. Hey guys, Joe from Steel, Forge, and Fire, Sword and Knife on YouTube and on Instagram. So if you guys watch my channel, you know that I am into all blades, but specifically, I have a love for Katana. I have a love for their history. I have a love for the blades and how the blades are made, and especially the blades that are traditionally replicated in terms of their folding patterns and the different types of folding lamination that's put into the blades, because there's so many details and so much going on in the blade to appreciate and enjoy. And it's endless, you know, in terms of how much you could look at a katana blade and see all of the craftsmanship and all of the work that the smith put into making the blade, and it becomes apparent, okay, in the formation and the polishing and all that. Most of us who purchase katana blades basically have Hamon differentially hardened and so whatnot. Enough of us are also lucky enough to be able to get our hands on folded pattern blades, which are absolutely stunning. Now, I have been getting into acid etching for the simple reason that most of these blades are not really polished to the point where out of the box you can see a very distinctive Hamon, or if you're getting folding patterns, the folding patterns are going to be that transparent where you can visually see it and enjoy it. The acid etching that I've been getting into, and I'm a novice at this. I'm actually trying to get good at it before I actually go out on YouTube and put out a how-to video. So I wanted to experiment with a couple of different types of blades, different types of steels, different types of lamination methods, or non-lamination methods, differentially hardened and whatnot. So I wanted to try and experiment with a couple of different types of blade orientations to really get to a point where I'm confident that I can let you know what my procedure was in terms of the acid etching. So what is acid etching, you may ask? Many of you know, but basically you're shocking the blade with acid. It may be vinegar, it may be lemon juice. They both work around the same, but I've been specifically using white vinegar. And you're kind of shocking the blade. It brings out the details in the metal the way they were intended to be looked at from the smith, especially when you have a folded steel blade. There you really see all of the details in there more than a non-laminated blade, a non-folded blade. So I did try it on a laminated blade. It was a Choirboyz style blade, and it came out absolutely gorgeous, which if you've seen it on my other videos, if not, I'll leave a link to this one. You can take a look at it. I wanted to try on my second subject, a 1095 steel blade. It's a differentially hardened sword from Swords of Northshire. I love their blades. I love how they form their blades, but what I've seen with most of their blades is the Hamon is there, but it's not that distinctive. Okay, you really have to be in the proper lighting and the proper angle in order to be able to see it the right way. And I wanted to be able to unsheath the katana and have that Hamon really hit you in the face. So what I did was this time acid etching on this katana blade, but I didn't go nuts with it. I did not oversaturate the blade. I just kind of tried to go on the details of the Hamon itself to see if that works instead of oversaturating it. So I'm just trying a couple of different methods to see what works. After seeing the results, I'm very happy with them, but I think I could have went a little bit further and maybe saturated it a little bit more to really bring out the Hamon. But let's show you some pictures and let you know, see the process prior to the acid etching, while the acid was on it. After about 5 minutes that the acid was sitting, the solution that I made up was sitting on the blade. And then finally, after polishing up the metal with a professional metal polish, how the Hamon really is popping off the blade a lot better than before. So let's take a look at that. Now this is a blade from, it's actually my Silver Dragon blade from Swords of Northshire. It's a 1095 differentially hardened blade. Now, it is a used blade. This is not out of the box. It has been cut with. It has been cut with many times on various different materials. So there are some surface scratches, and it has been sharpened a couple of times on belt grinders. So there are some surface scratches and sharpening scratches and whatnot. But the Hamon, what I've noticed from out of the box, it always just had that very faded type of look. It wasn't really that prominent. And I always longed for the Hamon to really be a little bit more distinctive on this particular katana. And with this procedure of acid etching, I think that I was able to really bring it out a little bit more. Now, these are pictures of the blade with the acid solution that I made up that's sitting on the blade for about 5 minutes or so. Now, yes, it definitely looks nasty. It almost looks like the blade is completely rusted. There is a science behind it as far as what is going on with the acid on the blade, but there's definitely, you can see the interaction of the acid affecting the metal, sitting on the metal. I think as I do this a little bit more, I'm going to do some research and give you some more of a technical aspect of exactly what is going on the steel when you do add the acid. But yes, it definitely does look nasty. It looks like it's rusted. It almost looks like you completely destroyed the blade. So don't get scared when this happens. It's definitely going to all come off and come to life only after you actually add metal polish. Because if you just try to take this off with alcohol, it won't completely come off. You'll see it's still stained this way. It's all about the metal polishing that really brings out all of the details in the metal and completely gets rid of the acid residue that's left on the blade. But you can see, even with the acid on there, how some of the details are definitely trying to peek through onto the, from the steel in these pictures that I'm showing you here. This is the final product after polishing up the blade, removing all of the residue of the acid vinegar mix, and polishing up the blade very well with a metal polisher. Now you notice how some fine details are apparent on the blade, and this is again without any specific lighting. This is kind of ambient lighting, which was I was trying to go for with the photography. Try to go with ambient lighting just to show you it can be seen in any type of a lighting atmosphere. Whereas with my previous pictures of the sword, I had to really be specific as far as hitting it with the right type of light in order to have the Hamon be visible. Now you can make any Hamon visible on a sword as long as it's there with the proper lighting. The idea is to be able to notice and have the Hamon pop in whatever lighting scenario you may have, and that is how you make the Hamon a lot more prominent through this acid etching procedure. Now you notice also on this next image, there are some spots from the acid that are still present on the steel, along with, all the surface scratches and all that, but again, the sword is used. Now that can be corrected by going in with the metal polisher and polishing up the blade for a second or sometimes a third time to really completely remove any of the acid spots that are on the blade. But in these pictures, you can definitely see how the blade in normal ambient lighting is a lot more prominent in the sword. Now, obviously, certain swords have a much better defined Hamon line than others. And if I wanted to, I can go in and work on this on another acid etch, or maybe saturate it a little bit more to really bring it out a little bit further. So I'm just experimenting on a subtle approach to see if I can really isolate only the Hamon that needs to come out. But I think I can definitely work on this to make it pop a little bit more. But my major concern is to make sure that the Hamon is definitely a lot more prominent than before I did the acid etching, or how I got it out of the box from the sword manufacturer. And I think it definitely came out is popping a lot more. And I have to emphasize, this is with ambient lighting. It's not any specific type of lighting. It's ambient lighting in the room that is bringing out these details on the Hamon a lot more than having to be forced to be hitting it with specific type of lighting. And that really is the entire point of this exercise in showing you different procedures in proving how acid etching really does work. If you are one that is looking to really have the details of your Katana blade be more visible to the naked eye. So again, guys, here are just a couple images in a row just to show you the blade after the acid etching was done. Again, I have to mention Eric Hussein one more time because he definitely coached me in getting started with the acid etching, and it's a long journey for me because I really want to get to a point where I'm extremely proficient in doing this, and I will definitely do a how-to video, how I approach it, different methods that I use for different blades, and I would like to get back to more of an educated and trial and error type of method to acid etching, but for now I just wanted to show you my journey and how it's getting started by experimenting on a couple of different blades, and so far I'm very, very happy with the results. Again, this was a very subtle approach, really trying to isolate the Hamon. A little bit more joy in terms of unsheathing this sword and being able to really enjoy the details that they were intended to be when the sword was made. So again, guys, this is Joe from Steel Forge and Fire Sword and Knife. I hope you enjoyed the content. Thank you for sticking around and watching my videos. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll definitely help me to keep on growing this channel and continue to get you all of the information possible I can give you on blades, on swords, on how-to videos, on tech videos that I'm going to be getting into in terms of my cinematography. And I so enjoy taking this journey with all you guys. Have a good one, guys. Love to you all. And I will see you on my next blade video. See you soon, guys. Ciao.